Right. No, I mean, it's been very exciting times. I always say, I mean, I started in publishing in 1996, and the big thing back then was we had a CD in the back of the books. We thought that was like the big thing. Today, I mean, like I could have never imagined the stuff that we're doing today, especially when we start looking at things like artificial intelligence.
Right.
I mean, it's the amount of innovation that has gone on in this field in the last 25 years has literally been off the charts.
Right, absolutely.
So what was your strategy when you moved to digital at Pearson?
So the strategy was multi-tiered and had various threads to it. The first strategy was one to really think about what it was the author and my company, what we were trying to accomplish. So it was not simply, although this was certainly a part of it, it was not simply about making the products fit for purpose for a digital age and to inoculate ourselves against a used book market or substitutions. Our strategy was really to think about what is it pedagogically that this author or this set of authors is trying to accomplish, and how can a digital environment really augment or further that strategy in ways that we hadn't thought of. My own remit in my last days at my prior company was the humanities, and those domains, typically the publisher and the author contribution to the student's learning was to provide a corpus of content. So that required a lot of rethinking. If you're a history author or an English author, or an author, in the arts, generally speaking, you have to rethink what that student is really going to gain, both out of classroom and in the classroom. And we did a lot of thinking about, again, how the digital environment and capabilities, features, etc., could really further and create a more effective kind of classroom. We didn't just shift everything into a digital ebook and say, okay, we've done our job here. We really thought about what's going to make the learning experience and the teaching experience that much better. How are we going to alleviate instructors of their own burdens? How are we going to help ensure that students are learning and learning more effectively?
Yep.
How are we going to collect data on that to, again, help alleviate the burdens on instructors by giving them insights into their classes? So the strategy in converting from print to digital was really about what can we establish as a new North Star, not simply how can we prevent ourselves from becoming irrelevant by virtue of the fact that we've got a bunch of print products in our portfolio. It was really about giving us both a competitive edge, and that competitive edge was really being achieved by doing a better job relative to student learning and
right.
being able to.
I mean, the one thing also with digital, you develop such a better relationship with your customer. Back in the days of when we were selling books, professor would adopt a book, they would send the order to the bookstore, the student would buy the book, and that was the end of it. I mean, with digital, you're going to have to support that student every step along the way of the journey, from registration to making sure they use the product. You have so much more interaction with the instructor and with the student than any print product could ever deliver.
Right, and while respecting the student's privacy, et cetera, there is so much more that we can know about the student, even if they are made anonymous, and they often are to us. By virtue of the data we're able to collect, we are able to understand a lot more about what their gaps are and what they need to actually achieve mastery of any particular concept with which they are grappling or have been assigned. So there's much more that we can do to help them on their journey, and there's a lot more insights. The only insights you would get from a print product relative to the student experience outside of the summative exams is to see how much highlighting and note-taking they did in the book. And frequently
right.
You're looking at the pages of a used book and thinking, okay, well, this last student was insane. They highlighted everything.
Right.
Or they made crazy notes. And that's not, while fun, that's not exactly productive for understanding exactly how much the work you're doing as a publisher and author is actually helping that student to learn. Now we can understand what's working, what doesn't, and iterate and augment based on that information, and really give the students the kind of journey that's going to be the most efficient for them, really with an eye towards giving them the greatest chance of success.